think anyone that you speak to regarding your finances, a finance expert, if they don't look at your cash flow, then I would be very hesitant to trust them with my finances, because cash flow is the foundation for anything, business or anything like that. I mean, if you look at even business owners, one of the main reasons why businesses fail is because of cash flow. Because, you know, you can do all these things, but if you don't have cash flow, you can't operate your business on a daily basis. Yeah, look, I mean, firstly, it comes down to not having a plan in place. So there's the famous saying that you're either a slave or a master of money. There's never, like you said earlier, there's not that enough. You never have enough. Like if you speak to anyone, you know, you chase the first million, then once you get to the million, you're chasing the next million, and then you're constantly looking for the next hit. I mean, it's the same thing with you know, people that have addictions. They're always going for the next biggest hit. So the first thing is to just kind of be aware of what you've got. And so like by doing a cash flow to see what is the money that I'm getting in firstly. Secondly, looking at what are my core expenses, you know, living cost, I mean, rental or bond payment or things like that. Looking at your bare essentials. And then obviously making space for one has to definitely make provision for saving, whether it's, I think a lot of times we get so stuck up in the percentage and we get become all this all or nothing mentality. And I think that's also a big one of the big reasons why we end up not doing anything, because you think to yourself, if I'm not saving 20%, then I might as well not save. Whereas if you kind of even just save R5 a month, that's better than nothing. I mean, my uncle always says, like, if at the end of the month, you've got nothing to show for what you've earned, you basically wasted your time working, which is quite a bizarre thing. Like, even if it's R1, it's R1 that you've basically kept. And so I think one has to kind of, even myself, we have to step away from this all or nothing mentality, which I think is a very common thing for a lot of people. And just start off with a small amount. It doesn't have to be a big amount. Just get into the habit, and that habit will then snowball into something greater. So I think a lot of times people say, yeah, but you know, it's about, you know, buying too much coffees or buying too much this. Again, it's about being practical and looking at your budget and saying, okay, fine, this is what I've got. Not the other way around, where you say, okay, well, whatever I got left over and then save. One has to obviously put savings at the top of the list, and obviously covering all your living expenses. And also sometimes we need to be real with one another and say, look, I'm living in a house which is costing me X amount of money. It's not practical. I only use one room. I need to look at ways of either I need to sell the house, or I need to rent something else and rent out my house, or look at practical ways of that. Because often when, you know, you speak to people, the one partner maybe isn't working, or you've even got people in the house that's not working, and it's putting a lot of financial pressure on one person. And so one has to have a conversation with the people that you live with and say, look, this is where we are now currently. What can we do as a collective to get out of this position? And I know sometimes we don't want to go through that because we rather live in a 4-bedroom house, use 1 bedroom. I'm not saying we need to rent out all our rooms, but I'm just saying we have to be practical and say, when do I need to consider moving out of my house, rent out my house, and look at practical solutions. Sometimes if we look at how much clutter we've got in our house that we don't even use, I mean, there's that 80-20% rule where if you look at, you know, 80% of the clothing that you have in your cupboard you don't wear, and only wear 20% of the clothing in your cupboard consistently. So, you know, sell the clothes that you don't use, or sell the stuff that you don't use. Or give it to a charity, or get you know, declutter basically, and just be more practical essentially.